Cool. Hello guys. We are critiquing some of your photos. Some epic fans on the Twitter suggested I do this, and I am. Just for you guys, obviously. So we're gonna start with Rob's. Very, very different from each other. So we're gonna just go straight into it, really. Right. The only critique, the biggest critique I would have of it is probably the subject matter. It's nice, and I've done this many a times before. Like, I've done this. I take photos like this because I like it, and I think it's got some nice foreground. You got a nice background. The focus of it is nice. Like, this tree is nice. I mean, this little piece here could be a bit different. Maybe, obviously it's pretty hard to change nature, bend nature to your will. But that's probably the main thing I would change. Just so you've still got that focus part, but then you've also got the foreground, main focus, and you've got your little bit of negative space up here, which allows you to see the sky. It'd be a bit more interesting if there's clouds, but once again, it is nature and you can't really decide that. So if you wanted to edit anything, maybe add fake clouds or something. But other than that, I like the colours of the leaves. I assume he kept it very natural, very to life. Maybe try and sort the chromatic aberration out, just because it's a little bit distracting on there. But apart from that, it's pretty solid. Good solid image. Yeah, nice. Now the one I've been excited for, not gonna lie, this one, the cat, because I really like this photo. I think it's really, really good photo. Because I assume this is his 50mm f1.8. I don't actually think I have the information. Yeah, I don't. So I'm pretty sure this is the 50mm, because that's what he uses a lot of the time. Just the composition of it's really great. You've got a nice leading line here. Focus is kind of leading it that way. You've got that leading line there. It kind of draws you in. Wish I assume is a bin. Wish that wasn't there. But I mean, that'd be editing out. Just literally, I don't know, getting this tool, kind of going like, oh, crazy, and then something like that, Well, do something like that. Gone. Magic. But then it kind of just frames it a little bit nicer. You've got the green, you've got the white, very contrasting as the green is cut out from the cat, really. Let's put it that way. I would say white balance is a little bit off, just because the ground I don't believe is that blue or purple. So maybe changing that a little bit. Composition wise, I'd say it's great. Once again, chromatic aberration. It's just another editing thing. Just see if you can fix that a little bit. Other than that, I think it's quite a nice photo of the cat. I don't really think there's too much else I would say is wrong with it. It's nice. I do really like this photo. So, but on this one, well, I'd say a bit different from the first one. I'd say this one has a bit more of an immediate subject that you can clearly see. Cropping it, I'd probably crop it a bit differently, so it's a bit more even either side, and maybe even just rotate it a little bit, just so they're both definitely straight, kind of. Although that one's a little bit slanted, that one's also now a little bit slanted, so it's kind of balancing it a bit better. Very minute thing, but that's probably what I'd do. Colors are nice. Obviously, it's only two really major colors. There are some obviously turquoise and grays and all that kind of funky stuff. But in terms of that, I mean, it's nice to see that it's kind of tearing and everything. That gives it a good more action to it. But then the fire exit and keep clear signs pristine, and there's nothing wrong with it. So, but yeah, overall that's a nice image. Right, that was Rob. Now on to Hyper. He's got some images off his Unsplash. I'll link both of these guys' Unsplash down below. So if you want to go check it out, that'd be awesome. They deserve a lot more love than they get. Hyper's a lot more new to photography than Rob is, I believe. Rob's been doing it pretty similar amount of time that I might have, or a little bit longer. Rob's been doing it a bit longer than I have, but I don't really know. But Hyper's been doing a little bit less time than us. Hyper's been doing some really nice work. He posts a lot more on his Unsplash. I think there's some slight editing and there's quite a bit of editing in this. You see, I mean, I'll be honest, this looks like it's straight out of camera. I don't think Rob's done too much with this. Whereas Hyper's, I believe, edited. Hyper's removed a lot of color here. You can see just here, color removed, color removed. The berries are usually a bluish purple, so that's been removed. So it's just the green. And I think that's a very interesting technique, single color targeting, kind of that thing. I probably would have said not to do it on this. If you're going to do anything, keep the blues and keep the purples so the berries stand out. Because if it's the berries you want to stand out, then you want to remove this color, because this color is very distracting, very bright, very kind of drawing away from it. But overall, the composition of this photo is quite nice. The lines of the stalks flowing in, especially with all the leaves as well. These ones leading in like that. It's very nice. One other thing, I believe I saw this on your Unsplash. I was looking at the settings that you were on when taking this, and it was at 250 shutter speed. The way I'd look at taking another photo, if you were going to take this again, you're at quite a zoom, so maybe look into it, because obviously, as you can see, it's minor. It's very minor, but you can see there's a little bit of motion blur on it, and although it doesn't really necessarily detract from the photo, if you were to kind of be like, oh, yeah, that's a nice photo. Oh, okay, it's a little bit blurry. You're going to get a lot more shake. Just an idea. But overall, nice photo. This one's very nice. I am partial to some black and white photography. This one is very nice. I like the shape. Obviously, it's London Eye. The shape that the main eyepiece kind of makes, cutting off section of that filled with details and lines and geometry and everything like that. You've got power of 3, which obviously is an English thing, but you know, triples are always nice. It's very symmetrical. I don't know if I crop it in anymore. Probably not. The middle one, maybe a little, maybe ever so slightly like that, just so that it's a little bit more even on those sides. And this one's very much more central. But other than that, I mean, it's really fine. Nice use of negative space. There's obviously nothing going on up here. Common to England, it's either overcast or completely clear skies, so it's nice to see that there is some negative space up there. Definitely contrasts from the rest of the place looking hella spice. But yeah, I mean, there's not too much I would change on this really. I mean, it's very grainy, so I would assume that's either because of the editing added grain into it, or high ISO. But I don't believe you'd have to use high ISO. I mean, it might have been that overcast that you do, but either way, it is very grainy. If it's editing, maybe reduce it ever so slightly, because it does look a little soft. But apart from that, I would say it's a pretty damn good photo. Love the composition. Yeah, really well done. Fire. Now I've done fire photos myself. They are a bitch, to say the least. But this one's done nicely. There's one main thing that I would change, and that's the focal distance. That's just kind of how zoomed in it is. I would potentially draw it back a little bit, so you get a bigger picture of the whole fire, of what's going on. Because I mean, it's nice. I love it. I love seeing all the embers and all the death and decay, you know, all that good stuff. What's quite nice about fire is those peaks, and it's all those kind of weird shapes that fire makes, which is just, they don't, like, why are you making the shape? It's just, you know, fire makes some weird shapes, and it's nice to capture that. Especially, you've done a nice good on capturing the highlights, because they are an absolute nightmare to capture on fire. Fire is really not fun to capture, but when you do get it right, it is it's nice. It's nice, I'll be honest. But other than that, I would say maybe a little vignette to it. Should be in effects. A little bit of a vignette to it. Texture could raise a little bit in clarity, just so it makes each line of the fire pop a little bit more. And make the image a bit warmer, ever so slightly warmer, just because it's a little bit. I mean, it was fine. Realistically, it's fine, but as you can see, it looks a little bit blue, a little bit cold on the actual sticks, whereas it's a fire. It's gonna be warm nearby. So having a warm image definitely helps with that warmth. Definitely shows you that it's a warm image, and yeah, keeps it rolling. Yeah, there's not too much. I mean, obviously it's a JPEG, so I can't work with it too much, but minor changes like the shadows. If you make it a very high contrast image, shadows definitely help with them. That's a really nice image. Yeah, just the whole image, make it a bit more open, bit of a wider angle so you can see the whole fire. That'd be the main thing I would change. And this one, I saw this one on his Twitter, and I do like it. I like it a lot. I like it. The light's pretty much the only source of light, obviously. But and it's the only thing showing on the ground as well, lighting the ground. There's no cars, there's no people, there's one tree, which is quite nice silhouette of the tree. I love the fact that it looks kind of almost space-like. If you were to, it's gonna be weird, but if you'd like kind of get rid of that, not get rid of it, heal tool rather than clone tool. Just kind of get rid of that. It kind of looks like a spacecraft, that kind of idea. Like that's what I get from it. It's like almost a sci-fi vibe, kind of horror sci-fi. What I would change about this, I wouldn't necessarily change too much. When taking it, I would maybe move a bit more into the center of the road, just over, if you were to move more, so if you were to move down the road, so it's looking down like that, you'd get more of this light in. You'd see a bit more of leading lines, because it's leading, I mean, the main thing is, it's not leading to anything, really, so I think that would be a big thing. Maybe you could get someone to stand at the end of the road, and maybe under this light here. So if you were to get someone under the road here, under this light while looking down here, because that light's obviously casting on them, cast another shadow, cast another highlight on the back of the head. It'd be really cool. That's the main things I would do. Like I said, I'll drop all the stuff down below. It's the first time I've done this, so go easy, fam. Cheers. Thank you, everyone. I hope this was a video you enjoyed. I'll be maybe doing another one, so toodle and bye-bye.